Hi, this is Lada from Astrolada.com with your May 2017 horoscopes, and those horoscopes will be very special because they will cover not only May but the next year and a half. So you're getting a deep insight into the next year and a half, because I'm going to focus in the May videos on the change of signs of the North Node and South Node, or also I like to call them Rahu and Ketu. It's easier. They're changing signs from Leo into Aquarius from May 2017 till November 2018, which means our karma is changing, guys. The big lessons, Rahu and Ketu, are the reasons we incarnate in this life. To learn lessons and to let go of things. To learn new things and to let go of old things. Ketu is letting go, Rahu is learning new things. So this is the North and South Node. And I'm going to teach you where you can progress throughout the next year and a half. Starting from May, because Rahu is where we can progress and get material results and use our willpower, and where you can get liberated and release old things. And if you follow this pattern, this is your recipe for success. So guys, I'm giving you a recipe for success for the next year and a half. And you can even go back to my October 2015 videos when I was talking about the previous change, when Rahu and Ketu for the past year and a half, they've been in the two signs, Virgo and Pisces, and you can check them out for your sign and see how correct this was. And then you can listen to the May ones that will cover up to November 2018. Such an important big deal, honestly. The consciousness shifts, the karma, the lesson shifts in a big way. And we're going to see how this impacts each sign. And don't forget, May is also another good month because Mercury is turning direct. Planets, Venus is already direct, so the complicated issues and intensity of April is starting to fade away. We'll pay attention to that as well. But just to remind you guys, May, from the middle of May, from the 14th, I'm starting a 6 months foundational astrology course, which is just $200. It's going to be 12 weeks. We're going to do that twice every month, basically. And it's going to be all about the 12 signs, all about Aries we're starting. You can either get the full course for 50% discount, $200, so you can get a few, videos, maybe a few courses all about Aries, all about Taurus, whichever sign you're interested about, which is just $29. But if you want to learn astrology from scratch, and if you want to know information that is not there, and I promise you again, I bring you for sources, esoteric, deep, ancient, modern. It's going to be my best course, basically. And if you want to really understand astrology in depth and start from the bottom, this is the course for you. So come and join me. While till May, it's still just half price, $200 for the whole course, or $29 for all about Aries. And yeah, thank you so much. Gemini, May 2017. Let's start just with the specific news for May, guys, and then I'm gonna go into the North and South Node changing signs, and you can watch this video over the next year and a half. It's your strategy for success. But let's see what's happening in May in particular. Till Mars is into your sign, guys. The whole of May, Mars is in Gemini, which happens once every 2.5 years, that Mars will stay for about a month and a half into a sign. And of course, what is Mars? Mars is ambition and drive. And especially after the 20th of May, your ambition and drive can become even stronger, because the Sun, which is a vitalizing and masculine active planet, just like Mars, is also moving into Gemini. Till the 20th of May, you might still have, you feel this new urge to act, which is Mars, but at the same time, things might not be fully clear, because the Sun is still in your 12th house till the 20th, 21st of May. It's still in the sign previous before you. It hasn't, 12th house is about kind of researching alternatives and investigating things a bit more. And Mercury is still retrograde, till the first week of May as well. So maybe the May starts a little bit slower for most Geminis, because Mercury rules you and the Sun is in the 12th house. 12th house is about research and preparing yourself, and maybe feeling a bit more dissipated and not exactly clear, because the Sun is the divine intelligence that gives us clarity. Feeling not exactly certain about our plans and how things will develop. But then from the middle of the month, and especially you know, the second part of the month, things become, and Mercury when starts moving direct already, any kind of complicated issues in your life start resolving, any kind of unclarity starts kind of coming into focus as well. You start seeing the results of some actions that you've done from before, that you've worked hard in the previous 2 months, especially some kind of activities which are mercurial, which are, you know, communication, information, organization, planning, business. You start seeing the results of those, and things start normalizing, coming back to normal. After all the retrograde planets, Venus and Mercury, especially Mercury affects you strongly when it retrogrades, big moments of reassessment and reevaluation and renegotiations of things or changing plans. Now when they're moving ahead from the second week of May, you start, like, things start coming back to normal. As I said, also the Sun enters your sign from the 20th, so this is when you start new things and setting new intentions, and new ideas, creative ideas come into you very strongly in the last 10 days of May, and especially in June. But Mars throughout the whole month is in your sign, Gemini. It's here, you know. It's here. So you might start feeling restless from the beginning, like, I want to do something, it's time to start something, because Mars is this ambitious planet that pushes you. Yes, yes, it's the soldier, it's the athlete, the excitable, that wants to take challenges, it wants to take, you know, risks as well. But because of the Sun is still in your 12th house till the 20th, you know, here in this invisible area, you might not have clear direction exactly what to do, or you might still be having to research a bit further and to prepare, maybe not having fully the green light of the goal. But as I said, from the 20th, you have the green light fully. Just be careful. When Mars is in Gemini, you can become more argumentative. You can become more stressed out. You can become a bit more irritable, you know. And you can react to people, but you have the strength because Mars is in your sign. And sometimes we need to be more assertive, and we need to step on other people's toes. If you've been keeping, you know, if you've been lethargic, Mars will start awakening this energy. Great time to do some physical exercise, guys. To take action as well, especially the second part of the month. Great time to, your blood pressure can rise when Mars is in your sign as well. But you have to, you know, kind of, and you know, you might be quite impulsive with your words and what you're saying, because Mars is in Gemini, the impulsive, communicative sign. But, you know, I do like when Mars transits the signs, my sign in particular. Yes, it's a bit more stressful. Yes, there is the need for more movement, and there is the need for fixing something, because Mars is the planet that fixes problems, that usually in order for you to fix problems, it means some problems should come up. So some problems where you have to react very fast, to make some critical decisions, some mini crisis situations can come up. And Mars allows you to react very spontaneously, very quickly, fix those things, those frustrating things. But just the other side of it is that you can be overly impulsive. So it's good for you to not overreact, not send this angry email immediately. Don't immediately say cut off. And it's not going to change your life. It's just going to give you frustration for a few days. And can make it more complicated if you're overreacting, like the angry Mars, you know. But generally, it increases ambition, it increases drive, it increases the busyness of the daily activity, it increases impetus for success and courage. It brings you courage for certain guys. And yeah, so that's one side of Mars. But let's go to the most important thing that I want to talk about, and that's this change of the North and the South node, which continues till May, starts from May 2017 and continues till November 2018. Rahu, or the North node as we call it, moves into the 3rd house, and Ketu moves into your 9th house, Gemini, which are pretty innocent houses for you. They do quite well there, actually. But it means your karmic lessons are changing. Not only that, but your strategy for success is changing. And please do go back to my October 2015 video and see how Rahu affected you in the last 1.5 years when it was in the 4th house and Ketu in the 10th house, because they're moving backwards. So maybe some of you had to let go of certain social status and career and expectations about your career and attachments, and they had to develop more the family, they had to develop more the 4th house where Rahu is. But go back and see in depth, and let's see what is your strategy for success in the next 1.5 years. Well, whatever Ketu is, we have to let go of things. We're not in control there. They're above, they have put into action from previous karmic circumstances, so to speak. So you're completing things, ending things, whatever Ketu is. So it's almost like, yeah, the more you try to control that situation, the more out of control it becomes. The results of that situations have been put in actions long time ago, and now they're just ending, and you're detaching and releasing them. While Rahu is where your passion comes. Rahu is where you can impact things with your willpower strongly. If you want to understand more about Rahu and Ketu, you can get my course on the nodes of the moon, Rahu and Ketu, which is like only $30 or $40, and it's a 6-hour course, and I speak in depth what it means to have Rahu in your horoscope, what is the strategy for success throughout your whole life, depending where these 2 planets are, and if they happen to be with some planet in your horoscope. This is your most difficult karmic lesson, basically, and the one that you need to work the hardest at, or to release the hardest. And it can give you lots of insight as to the purpose that we incarnate. Rahu and Ketu, south, north and south node, are the reason we incarnate on this earth, to work out through the karmic issues, you know, to learn new things, Rahu, and to let go of old things. So what are we letting go of over the next 1.5 years, Gemini? You're letting go of outdated belief systems. The 9th house is this. Maybe till now you believe that, yeah, you're a Christian or whatever, and now you might get disappointed. You might not feel, especially feel emotional disconnect, because Aquarius is intellectual disconnect, sorry, because Aquarius is intellectual. And as you know, your Gemini, whether it's your ascendant or sun or moon, then your 9th house is quite intellectual. Your belief systems are quite intellectual. That's why many Gemini, they don't just believe blindly. They need some intellectual, scientific understanding, you know, in order for their belief systems are formed like that. But now Ketu says you're ending such a chapter. You might, I've seen people, for example, get disillusioned from some belief system. I've seen people even get disillusioned from astrology. It's a belief system, astrology. It's some higher knowledge that you interpret reality through. Or you can let go of certain kind of very factual belief system, intellectual belief system, or any way you've perceived reality till now start shifting. So you're being liberated from old belief systems. You might get disappointed from some guru, mentor, teacher, some political affiliation and idea. 9th house rules our ideals, just like it rules what we believe about God. And so we might be becoming, actually it can make you very spiritual, more spiritual in a sense, because you're releasing some outdated belief system, and Ketu is about liberation. So it can liberate you into a much more higher minded belief system from before, higher vibrational belief system than before, but which can be preceded by some kind of disappointment in your current worldview. But you know what? The biggest changes in life happen when you first change your belief system, your intuition, how you perceive the world. And when this happens, amazing miracles or big shifts in consciousness also happen. Not in consciousness, in manifestation as well happen. And that on a more mundane level, Ketu in the 9th house, you might have to let go of certain, might be like a completion or letting go of higher education of some sort, or completion or letting go of interest in some kind of a higher knowledge. Or it can mean moving, relocation of some sort, moving from one country, letting go one country, foreign country, for another. It can mean also letting go of relationship with father is ruled by the 9th house in ancient astrology, and I've seen with parents as well. It can mean like letting go and of control of relationships with mentor figure or father figure of some sort as well. On another level, it's letting go of, as we said, high education and things like that. Or you can do some Ketu, it means spiritual, some spiritual pilgrimage over the next year and a half. 9th house rules faraway countries, and our belief system, Ketu, is very spiritual. I've seen people take up, if they travel to faraway exotic places, which is 9th house, they're much more to do with, you can visit places by, even without planning, that were connected to your past lifetimes in some way, and something able to release some pain or whatever by going to such a place. Even if it's unconscious, you'll be drawn to places, far away places that are connected to your past lifetimes or connected to somehow releasing you from something from the past that is connected to those places. That's one way it can play out. Well, let's see what is Rahu in the 3rd house. The 3rd house, and whatever Rahu is, we have to consciously strive to work hard there. Not work hard, but this is where we get passionate, actually. This is where Ketu is where we get a bit like, been there, done that, okay, I've studied with that teacher, I'm letting go. I've lived in this country, I'm letting go now. I've learned everything. Or I've explored that belief system, it kind of feels empty to me now, I'm letting it go. Or I studied enough of this thing, I'm letting it go. But Rahu is like, I get excited, I'm so passionate. Rahu is the dragon's head, where you're insatiable. You want to take more and more and more there. It's a dragon without body, just a head, and it's like it never gets full, you know. So Rahu is where passion comes and where chaos comes as well, because it's totally new things that come into our life. Totally new, exciting things that we're passionate about, especially it going to Leo. Leo is a sign of the heart, of passion. And 3rd house is all about experimenting. So it's kind of, and it's actually not about just acquiring higher knowledge, teaching, it's about doing. 3rd house is about getting your hands dirty. So strategy for success is, instead of contemplating philosophically and making the big plans, you know, trying to figure out some long-term goal. 9th house rules, by the way, on a practical level, your long-term goals that you've had. Maybe you've had some long-term goal that, you know, you'd achieve something and you have a plan for it, and some ideal. Well, now you might get disappointed from that ideal. Or if you stay with this ideal, now is not the time just to contemplate about it and keep studying new things about it only, and you know, philosophizing about it. Now it's time to jump into the mud and get dirty and play with your hands there. So say your ideal is to be, because 9th house is our ideal, is to be independent and work for yourself, for example, and or is to live in some society, commune or whatever, and you've been contemplating about that and you've been imagining it. Well, now is the time to go and do it. 3rd house is self-initiative. 3rd house is taking action. Interesting enough, in ancient astrology, it's having the courage to, instead of just dream about it and idealize about it and looking for extra higher knowledge and mentors, and no, you jump and you do it. You've wanted to be self-employed, now you jump and experiment and play with it. And to trust that the information will come to you in the process of doing. The information that, because Ketu make us feel insecure, whatever it is. So we might be feeling, oh, we're missing some piece, we don't know the full picture, because 9th house wants to see the full picture, wants to see the end, wants to see the forest, the whole puzzle before it acts. While the 3rd house is like, there is a tree, I'll go from this tree to the next tree, from this tree to the following tree. You know, it just takes one step at a time, the 3rd house, the next logical step, rather than wanting to know the whole plan and the whole picture. Rahu is like, in the 3rd house, says, no, I'm going to act now, more impulsively, and I'm going to act even without knowing the final result. And the results will be revealed to me in the moment of taking the action. And actually for Gemini, this is very natural state for them, because Gemini is connected to the 3rd house energy. Gemini is the third sign. So experimenting and flitting like a butterfly from flower to flower will take you to your goal. You don't need to have the grand plan, you just need to take the practical actions at a time. Learning new skills, practical skills, is something that usually happens when Rahu is in the third house, like whether it's learning to, you know, to use media technology, to operate the machinery, to do something, to build a website. All those practical skills that will take us to the big goal in life, to the big ideal. You don't need to have this, you know, set out. You take the practical steps now in the next year and a half, and this is your strategy for success. And you go and play with the mud, and you jump in, and even if you don't know what the final result is here, you know, you do know. You just go for the play, and you take the courage, the plunge of heart, the plunge, and with the lion's heart there, and you start experimenting and playing with it. And people also can become very, it can develop relationships, your strategy for success if you have associates, if you cooperate somehow in groups with others, for example, because third house rules associates, friends, siblings, neighbors, teammates, flatmates, people, like small group, working groups of people. So that's also can bring you more success if you get involved with groups of people. Rather than with mentors and teachers, just get associates and connect, and this is what it helps you with. Third house is also, as I said, with learning new skills and getting dirty and trusting the, I mean, like not always needing to have all the, you just need the next practical step, the answer for the next practical step, rather than the whole, what's the purpose of the life and where it's gonna lead me in life, these actions. Third house, Rahu can indicate also travels, but shorter travels, a lot of busyness in your daily life, Gemini, over the next year and a half. You get busy, very Geminian. You learn a lot of new things, and you're excited about that. You get involved with more people, makes you much more communicative, social year and a half for your third houses. Short journeys is communications, information. That's exactly Gemini area. Experimenting, trying new things. So you definitely, your mind becomes busier. You become much more socially active for a year and a half. You benefit through working with others. So you're in your element, I want to say. So you'll be able to much more easily manifest that energy. So thank you so much, Gemini. I can speak for hours, but I hope you enjoy that, and I will see you next month.